and got duped. They actually knew that later on down the road and sent anything back because they never got any warrants. It's a warrantless kidnapping that they did. There's never any warrant. There's no valid warrant. Never seen it. Never was served upon me, as you have to serve a warrant upon a person under Title 18, subsection 641. So we do know that as far as the warrant goes, there was something created by Judge Pollack when he sneaks over to the family court on a juvenile case, first of all, sitting in Alabama. I don't have any right to have any case of mine sitting in a family court. That's for under disillusion when I've never been married and I'm not a family case. I'm a Title 4D juvenile case. That's very important to understand. So that's the biggest, that's called RICO and GRICO fraud, RICO and GRICO racketeering.
I knew about RICO, but I didn't know about GRICO.
Yes.
That's new.
Yep. GRICO and RICO racketeering.
Wow.
Correct. On federal level.
Sure, a lot of mothers would want to hear. What does the GRICO mean?
GRICO is basically it's a type of racketeering. I mean, it's similar to RICO, okay? So you have these crimes. It's actually a federal crime to commit a RICO act or even a GRICO act, okay? And they basically almost go hand in hand. And it's actually a lot of what the mafia or mobsters, shall I say, went down for types of fraud by commission, fraud by omission, which are saying things that are false, falsifying records, falsifying documents. When you have completely, in RICO and GRICO crimes, complete falsified records that are altered, they are falsely created, there's nothing valid about any of them, then that's when you have you have a lot of people involved. When you have that, that's a type of RICO and GRICO racketeering. So, and what it goes down to, in a court situation like mine, you have something called, it stems straight from the legal term called fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine, meaning everything is basically smoke and mirrors. There's nothing valid to even stand on from the get-go in the entire case. That's what a lot of mothers need to start looking at. Go back to the beginning, go back to the start, because that's where the first imperfection of the case will stem from, and at that point, everything falls like dominoes. You can't stand on a house of cards that doesn't have a foundation. Isn't that correct?
Exactly, Tim. That's what I kept saying. Go back to the first week, because that first week is what set the tone for the rest of what you're dealing with. You can't even go against what you get slam baked with tons of new stuff. But the thing is that is already false, based on false. So the only thing you can go back to is what happened in the first week. And the moment I did that to my case, which took 7 years for me to do, I found out, it was a violation of due process, and it shouldn't have even been open in the first place. So that's your response. Go back to the first week. Everything else that happened after that, it doesn't matter, because none of that is valid if you go back to the first week and you get rid of what happened then. Everything else is all fake. It's all fraud.
Correct.
It's all illegal orders. It doesn't matter what they did after. The fact is that everything shouldn't have happened in the first place. So when it's fraud, it's fraud.
That's correct. Right. So RICO and GRICO goes back to having everything be fraud and be void ab initio, because even at the time when they did what they did out in California, I had to protect myself and filed in Alabama, and that judge, before he was blackmailed and before he basically started working in collusion with them, 3 years later, might I add, almost 2.5 to be exact, he actually was protecting us because he knew we were valid residents and I was being quote-unquote strong-armed. So we were validly sitting in our home state and filed in the right division of juvenile court, however, not in the right Title 4D division. I didn't know that. So that's another little defect in that case in Alabama. So that meant California had no jurisdiction. They never did.
That's even common sense. Second is that
right.
Doesn't a judge turn around and say, hey, you're the biological father. Where's the mother? So this transgender faked it like as if she was the mother. So why would they even bother to be in front of a court asking for custody if it's the real father? So
well, you have to understand too. Let me just say this: it's a very important part of the case.
right.
See, since Alabama was the only valid jurisdictional venue for the case, because we were Title 4D, we should have been in a Title 4D court. Actually, it was called Children's Court in Alabama with DHR as our attorneys, like not giving out any money, and so that meant there had to be a paternity trial. Okay, and you have to, when a paternity trial, they have to do 3 tests. 2 being swab, 1 being blood. And so when that doesn't, I mean, that's literally what has happened. The judge opens the results. Doesn't get sent to your house like, some identigene, go down to the CVS pharmacy like the Sullivan guy did with his brother, the transgender man, and said, hey, let's we'll swap all our DNAs and make it, and we'll look like, and we'll put it down as father and son. That's what they did in California and said, no, I did DNA. It's right here. I got it in my back pocket. Doesn't work like that. That's another form that lands under RICO fraud, okay, and RICO violations. So, I mean, that's absolutely illegal. It has to be a federally recognized DNA company, and Identigene is nowhere near that. Matter of fact, they got sued for fraud and they're out of business not long after 2009. So that shows you right there that these guys were literally, I mean, they thought it was going to be a slam dunk. They thought they could just do some quick, complete, I mean, childish, completely idiotic, test. It was just silly. So, I mean, it's almost laughable is the truth. So that never happened. We've never had a paternity trial in the state of Alabama to this day because they, 2.5, almost 3 years later, took a bribe and they moved everything into divorce so that the Medicaid Title 4D agency of DHR wouldn't know to do a paternity trial, thinking my name was Tam Marion Sullivan with my son's literally Social Security number, thinking I was married also when I was not. And my name is not Tam Marion. I've never had that name. We ran it through Montgomery, through federal representatives there.
Tammy, wait. Tammy, I got to interrupt you here. You just lost me. So if you lost me, you're going to lose everybody else. Somehow now you're saying from between the time that in San Diego that these two, one transgender, Brian, and the other woman, what was her name, or she went under, they took this test that from CVS and put it in front of a judge and says, we're the parents. But even a logical person, a judge, wouldn't say, well, if you're the parent, then why? Oh, so you're saying that they went through it like this, an adoption. Like, did they show up as a foster and they used that lady as the CPS person?
Right. We don't know exactly what how they did all the paperwork.
Well, that makes sense because anybody that's going to try to, well, first of all, second of all, why would they even try to prove that they are the parent by showing a DNA test? But then you got the CPS woman there. I mean,
right. So it gets worse. You understand that?
I mean, even that's common sense. Why would a judge say, "Why are you asking me for custody"? There was no judge. Oh, okay. Now we're getting it because I'm confused.
They didn't do it in front of any judge.
Oh, they
That's what
didn't.
you're missing. No. They came in after they pulled this stunt and so they came into the next part A and said, "Here, judge, I got the results right here." Results of what? There was no hearing before then. How did they get a result? Well, I went to CVS pharmacy and did my own box test. So the judge says, okay, that's great. Well, wait, the judge doesn't have jurisdiction to determine anything. And they didn't have a paternity trial. So, you see what I'm saying? There's nothing like, that was not done in
Okay,
court.
no, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to create a paper trail.
Right. To
make it look like you don't know what you're talking about, and also to somehow find a way to cover their butts.
Right.
If somebody would come in and start looking around and getting fishy, they need at least some kind of paperwork because they know, I mean, family courts are not obligated. They're in a life of their own. Even juvenile court, they have absolutely immunity from the government. So, and we just found that out too, since 1980.
Let me tell you the clincher. How they covered it up when the State Department started looking into it when I met you in D.C. in 2013 How they covered it up, and I did not know this for years, okay? How they did it was they used other cases, other mothers' cases that were Title 4D, that Sullivan got custody of these other children. He actually married those women, and so they made it look like I was that mother and that I had 3 other children and my son too.
Oh my God, this gets even huge, even more like bizarre. People don't get that this happens. He was married to other women, and then at the same time, and you're one of those 3, but your name is not the name that they claim. And Jonah apparently is the son of one of those women.
Right, that's exactly what they tried to make it look like.
Oh my God, I got it. Okay, because I mean, trying to explain this because it gets so entangled with so many lies upon lies and paperwork here. I know my case is very similar. I mean, one story here, one story in Germany. I mean, literally, it took 1 year for one lawyer just to even read through the paperwork. And at the end, she's like, "This is incredible. This is just so bizarre." Right. I mean, because the lie and it's mixed between lie and truth, and then everything is based on a lie from another country to another country, and then they base that on that lie. I mean, it just keeps going back and forth. So now...
Right. Let me just say this, if I may interject. So what they do is they look for vulnerable people who, are laymen of the law. Like, I didn't know any of these things back. I didn't know what I'm telling you right now. I just knew something was wrong. I didn't know how in the world this could happen. So they knew they were taking advantage of somebody who was absolutely, completely in the dark and clueless. And what they would do is when I would come into the clerk's office, it was like winking at another clerk, at the business office, and they'd go, "Oh, sure. Oh, yes, Mrs. Rief, sure, here's your file." And it would be my regular file that says I'm not married. It's normal that this is, but when I would leave, then they would switch it back, and they would hide it under numerous cases. The attorneys I had were all in on it. They knew that they had filed the entire case in a divorce court when I've never been married.
How did you end up finding out? I mean, I believe you because it happened to me. It happened to me, and they wouldn't give me my file. And come to find out years later when I went back, you should see the stacks of stuff that every time I went to the courtroom, like, is there anything that I don't know about or whatever? They'd say, no, nothing. And you should see the loads of filings that he did that I was never acquired to. I didn't even know existed. So, Tammy... So they switched it. And yes, I had attorneys too that basically sold me out because, of course, my ex had more money. In fact, I had none. Right. So it was very easy to come in and pay your lawyers to turn a blind eye. And they do it all the time. That's why I don't trust any of them. No lawyer. Don't even. That's why you start becoming pro se and you start learning to investigate yourself, because otherwise nothing's ever going to get done because you cannot trust anybody. Anyone.
Right. And how I got the documents, I have numerous cases that that from the very get-go, my case got filed under. And, I mean, literally to the point where I have somebody, and I'm not going to say how or what, but I got those files of the other cases, and with my name on it, their case number, and the other cases. And so it was such and I didn't get that until... Gosh, it probably wasn't until late mid-2012 and then into 2013 was I get my hands, did I understand what they were doing or what happened to me.
They do it behind the scenes. So you can't fight something that you don't know that it's there. How can you fight something unless you know what you're fighting against? You can't. So time goes on. So you got somebody to sneak in and get the file?
I'm not going to get into how or what.
I figured had to be. You had to pull a fast one while they weren't expecting you.
Something like that.
Yeah, I've done it too, so I know what's the only way to. You send someone else in on your behalf. That's how they get it. Exactly, because they're not expecting it's you that they can't give it to, but it doesn't mean they can't give it to somebody else. They're not going to expect that. Good job, Tammy. All right, let's get on to the next thing now, because this is serious.